Welcome. My name is Richard Dinges, and I'm here to introduce College Corner. And this is our first of a series, and I'm here today with Dr. Schoonmaker, who is the college president, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the college, the way it is today, and we're going to be talking about some of the main educational programs. So, Dr. Schoonmaker?
Well, Richard, thank you. It's really a pleasure being here this afternoon with you.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about what the programs that you have in existence right now?
Absolutely. One of the great things about College of the Siskious for our area is that it truly does represent what is known as a comprehensive community college. College of the Siskiyou offers a variety of programs that meet all sorts of educational needs for students, whether those are traditional age students just coming out of high school or people in the community who are looking for another change of pace, a new career, another opportunity, or maybe a first opportunity after taking some time not being in education. So the main areas we talk about having as programs really translate into two major focus areas. One is what we call transfer programs. So these are degrees that students can get that help them get their general education requirements completed, and a focus in a fairly traditional area, whether that be psychology, the social sciences, we have people who are interested in music and theater and the fine arts, and they can come to College of the Siskiyous and basically take their freshman and their sophomore year, complete those general education requirements, take classes that have more like 25 or 30 students in it instead of 300 to 500 students in it, and then transfer with the associate degree for transfer programs that the college offers. Colleges like abbreviations, and so we call those ADTs. And with an ADT, then a student can go to one of the Cal State colleges or a UC, and they can continue their studies for their bachelor's degree. The other major area that we have is kind of known as the career technical professional area. And I think a lot of people who know something about College of the Siskiyous may know about some of those programs. One of the bedrock programs we have in that area is nursing. And through the Rural Health Science Institute in Wairika, we have our nursing program there, and students can get either their LVN, which is licensed vocational nursing, or get their RN, which we call a step-up program, LVN to RN program. We also have the Fire Academy, and we're very proud to just be starting our new Police Academy. The Police Academy is represented in 3 modules, and they actually start at Module 3, then 2, then 1. And we've been offering 3 and 2 for some time. But last summer was the very first time that the college had received approval to offer Module 1. And now we are able to offer the complete post or Police Academy. So those are kind of when you look at the various programs that we have, those are some of the major ones that we offer.
We also spoke a little bit before about some non-credit courses, and you're having those are fairly new at the college. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Absolutely. I think what people may think of when they think of non-credit are classes that I like to call fun ed classes. It may be learning how to dance or learn how to sew. These are classes that don't have any, as the name implies, they don't have any credit associated with them, but they're an opportunity for someone to learn perhaps a skill or a technique of some kind of craft or something of interest. What's new is that we are now offering non-credit courses that have a couple of classes connected to them, and then a student can actually get a certificate from that. And one of the more exciting things that we just offered this last fall was a class in construction techniques. And the class actually built the frame and the most of the inner parts of a tiny home. And so this tiny home was their product and also their project. And from building that home, they learned all types of construction techniques. But our non-credit offerings are now growing to the point where we're offering 40 to 50 different classes in any given semester.
Mm-hmm. You also have a welding class too that you start as a non-credit, and then did that move into a credit class?
Yes, that's true. So the welding program we've had for some time, and it's a great program. We have a lot of students who, even while they're in high school, may come and take some classes with us, or they can continue in our welding program after high school. And so we've had that welding and fabrication program for some time. What our welding instructor did is work with the non-credit department and look at some classes that would pique the interest of anyone in the community who might want to learn a little bit more about welding and just see if welding is something they might have an interest in without having to commit to a full class in this. And so the hope is that students can start in the non-credit course, and then if they like the welding and they want to learn more, then they could see, well, then I could take a class and I could have the benefit of actually taking more in-depth training so that they could do some more advanced welding.
Okay. Are these certification classes, do they get a certificate after they finish this class, or is it just for credits? Do you know?
No, that's a good question. The goal for someone in that welding program is to get a variety of certifications so that they are then qualified to get employed to do different types of welding jobs. And in the field of welding, there's all different types of certifications that you can get. Everything from stick welding, which is a pretty basic weld, to arc welding, which is more advanced, to even working with very challenging metals like aluminum. And getting a good weld in aluminum takes quite a skill.
Quite a skill. Can you tell us a little bit about future programs that you may have at the college?
Absolutely. I can. I think that's always something that people are interested in. What is the college about, and what might be some things that we might be looking at that we currently don't offer? And when I first got here about 18 months ago, I've heard a lot of interest in the community about some kind of culinary program. Certainly as a tourist destination and with all our different restaurants and hospitality, culinary does seem like a natural program for us to explore. And so we have been looking into that program and what would be the viability to offer that kind of program in culinary. One of the things we have to look at is not just an immediate need, but a long-standing need for an area that we might start a program in. This is another way that non-credit has been a great opportunity for us, because we have already started developing and starting to offer some culinary classes through non-credit. There's less of a commitment for the college to offering it through a non-credit avenue, and it allows us to explore the interest and the sustainability of a program before we actually start offering it through the credit and the degree granting program.
We talked a little bit about Basecamp programs. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, Basecamp is a concept that we have been developing on campus. One of the things we feel a strong affinity to is our location. And being here at the base of Mount Shasta, one of the things you think about when you're going to ascend to the mountaintop, like Mount Shasta, is you have to have the right equipment. You have to be properly prepared. And that happens at Basecamp. You get at Basecamp, you get acclimated to the higher elevation, you plan your ascent to the peak, and you make sure you have all the right tools and equipment. And along those same lines, College of the Siskiyous is offering our students a base camp as they make their ascent to their educational mountaintop. And as they make their plans, some students need more tools and more resources than others. And we want to make sure that we have the right tools and resources for each student so that they can be successful in their climb to get that certificate or that degree that they're seeking.
You know, we talked about keeping students here in Siskiyou County, and I think that's probably a major goal, that we would like to see our students stay here. How do you see that the college would benefit from that? Are you looking at maybe teachers coming back and being part of the college, or can you kind of give us a little bit of dissertation on that?
I'd be glad to, Richard. I think that it's a fairly natural part of growing up, that when you graduate from high school, your thought is, okay, now I've been here for a while, what's the rest of the world look like? And so there's usually a lot of interest in students to go elsewhere. College of the Siskiyous is aware of that, and so there are times we are the destination for students looking to go elsewhere. But we also always want to make sure that students who live close by don't too quickly check us off their list. Instead, we would hope that they would consider starting at College of the Siskiyous. We had, through the College Promise program, students who graduate from Siskiyou County and Modoc County are actually able to attend College of the Siskiyous for free. So without those tuition expenses and fee expenses, then it makes it a more affordable opportunity. Another thing that I realize is that students today, as they look to their future, are looking at a future that seems to be shifting and changing at a relatively rapid pace. And so going to college, when I went to college, it seemed that you went to college once and you had that experience, and then you moved on. It was like in the game of life. The actual Milton Bradley game of life, right? You make that choice at the beginning. Are you going to go to college or not? And there's no place in the game of life that you loop back and go back to that college. It's a one and done kind of thing. And what we're finding is more and more that college and the opportunity for education is really a lifelong pursuit. And so we want to be that college of choice for students straight out of high school, in their mid-30s when they want to do something different, in their 40s or 50s when they're looking for that, maybe a career change, or looking at taking on some of the new technology and the new opportunities that present themselves in that time of life. And then even as they start shifting to perhaps not an active work life, but still wanting to be engaged in the community and contributing in some way, there's always things that we need to learn. And so the college being that place where students can start and continue, and encouraging students to come back once they have gotten their bachelor's degree or master's degree, so that they can come and enjoy this quality of life that we all enjoy here.
When we went to college, and we went to a junior college, we went for 2 years, and it basically got us our 60 units. And it seems that kids or young people are in college a little bit longer now than they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 4 years you could get your degree,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's almost 5 and sometimes 6 years to get a degree. Can you kind of tell us why that has happened?
I think it has a variety of factors that are at play for students these days. One is that even with something like the Siskiyou Promise, which is helping make college more accessible with tuition and fees, books are very expensive, living expenses are very expensive, and students are finding that to devote 100% of their time to being a full-time student sometimes isn't possible. And so students, instead of taking, I think in my college career, I never took less than 15 credits in a semester, but a lot of our students take 12. And by taking 12, they are considered full-time, and yet they aren't full-time because, you know, when we always did the math, it was 15, 30, 30 to 60, 60 to 120, you have your 4 years. So if you start taking 12, and then you're at 24, you're now 6 short of that 30, and we won't do the math problem here, and that's why it suddenly takes 5 years. Another thing that can happen is that students, for a number of years, students were coming to college and they would take, even at a community college, which is open admissions, they would take what was called a placement test. Mm-hmm. And that placement test would see at what level of English and reading and mathematics that they might be ready for. Well, these kind of high-stake tests would often foil the attempts of students who either thought, well, it doesn't really matter how well I do on this test. Or they may say, oh my gosh, it's a test, and they get panicked and anxious and they don't do well. And so what we were seeing is students were coming to the college straight out of high school with a high school diploma, and they were not starting in our college-level English and our college-level math. And this has led in this state to the passage of Assembly Bill 705, which requires colleges to do away with these multiple series of developmental courses that kept a student enrolled in a lot of coursework, but not advancing towards their degree. Mm-hmm. And College of the Siskiyous is actually on some of the front edge in this state of helping students get right into college level math and English. In fact, in a recent study that was done, the progress of students, the amount of students who going to College of the Siskiyou were completing their first year of English, or of math, I'm sorry, it was in math, their first year of math, in the first year, our percentage is now at the top in the state of California. And that is due to our faculty and our counselors and advisors on staff who were helping students make this achievement possible. And because of that work, this is supposed to be in place by the fall of 2019, but we already have it in place, and our English faculty are also doing excellent work to speed up the entry process for our students so that they can get into those college level courses.
That's great. That's great. I do want to thank you for coming on with us to speak about these issues with the college. And hopefully that we have given you enough information. We do plan on having a series with Dr. Stephen Schoonmaker. And we'll see you shortly. We're going to talk to his staff also. So I hope that this will be a very popular series and get the information that we need to get out to those folks about Siskiyou College. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. For anyone interested in learning more about College of the Siskiyous, I encourage you to check out our website at siskiyous.edu. And also, always feel free to come by either of our campuses in Wairika or in Weed and talk to some of our caring staff who can answer your questions about programs and opportunities that may be right for you. Thank you very much.